Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be reviewing the new Mean Girls movie that just came out. I do have mixed opinions about this movie. It was not good, but it also was not the worst movie I've ever seen. So, let's talk about it because this movie was my childhood. It was nostalgia for me. I grew up with this movie, so let's talk about it. So first things first, my friend and I went to go see this movie and we were really excited about it. I kind of was on the fence about it and they didn't really advertise this very well either because of course they didn't tell us that it was going to be a musical. So I kind of went into it like unprepared and I knew there was a Broadway musical of it. So I kind of was like, okay, was this going to be based on the original 2004 movie, or was this gonna be the musical, Broadway musical version? So already I was kind of skeptical. So right off the bat, it just didn't scream Mean Girls. I did not really get the vibe that this was really even a remake. I thought this was kind of weird with the casting and the costumes. I don't know. I just wasn't really a fan of either.
Homeschooled. That's really interesting.
The original film was iconic for so many reasons. You have Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams and Lacey Chambers and Amanda Seyfried. It was just iconic, top tier casting, and I think that not only with the casting and the acting, also the costumes. Just the costumes were spot on. I think it was very hip in style at the time, and I don't know. It's just classic, and I don't think that you can really beat a remake. It's just not a thing. There will never be a remake that will be better than the original, so already it's kind of it's not going to be better. Every scene that I watched in this film, in the new one, is I just cringed a lot of times. There was definitely some cringing moments, like all the actors just seem to try to mimic and replace the original actors and try to act the way they did, which everybody knows, whether it's singing, acting, dancing, whatever, it never works out. You can never mimic somebody else's portrayal. And I definitely could see that, especially Karen, it was way too try hard. And this scene that is showing right now, the way they did it in the musical and the way that they did it in the movie, I just I cringed at it because he was on a bike and that is weird to me. I know obviously you can't have a car on the stage and they were probably just trying to mimic that aspect of the musical, but why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. You had a pretty big budget. Why couldn't you just invest in a car just like this scene here? Why, like, that's, to me that's nonsense, and that just made the movie look absolutely just ridiculous to me. Now, in the early 2000s, I'm not really sure what was up with it, but it was absolutely iconic. And that is the split camera with telephones and the four-way calls and the three-way calls. That back then, I remember those days. It was just top notch, and everyone did it. It was like a big thing to do. You were super cool for doing it. And I know that it showed in a lot of pop culture and a lot of movies and TV shows. I do know that just like in Mean Girls, they also did it in other films, such as The Click and Glee. Those are two very iconic scenes with this type of camera angles in it. So I definitely think that they should bring this back because this was absolutely amazing if you were around in the early 2000s.
If I would blow her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, "Why didn't you call me back?" And I'd be like, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" So then for my birthday party, which was an all-girls pool party, I was like, "Janice, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian." I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There are gonna be girls there in their bathing suits. Right? She was a lesbian.
I think what this film did really well that the new film completely missed the mark on is the comedy, the absolute just sheer laughter comedy that came from this film. And one of the scenes is this scene right here where Regina thinks that Janice was a lesbian and that she spread a rumor that she was a lesbian and didn't invite her to her birthday party. Well, the joke and the comedy of it all is that she's Lebanese, but of course Regina is supposed to be like really ditzy and dumb and doesn't know that Lebanese is not mean lesbian. And I think that them taking that out and making her an actual lesbian in the movie, it just completely missed the mark, in my opinion, because it's just like, that's not what the joke was. She was not an actual lesbian. She was Lebanese. But whatever. I don't know why they decided to make her gay in the new movie. That just seemed. That was just really weird and unnecessary. What I think I despise even the most out of everything in this new film is this scene right here of just how iconic it is on paper. Like, she's using real paper, it's not social media. I hated the digitalization of the new movie. Yes, I get we're in a different era and social media is a big thing and that type of thing, but I don't know, it just really bothered me that we changed such an iconic moment. You don't get a scene like this nowadays. This scene right here does not exist nowadays, to where this is how you find your information. You throw papers in the air and everyone sees it, and it's just not the same anymore nowadays. And the part in the film that they recreated it so it's on social media and TikTok basically and Instagram, and it just doesn't have the same feel to have all your secrets out in the open and all the rumors revealed. It just does not have that same feel. They did, however, recreate this scene where she's standing in the middle of the room and everyone is all scattered around, all crazed, but yet again, it's still not the same feel that you get as this scene. And I wish that they did not digitalize and social media it up in the new film. You can have a little bit of that. I understand that it's 2024, but it still does not get the same feeling. And if you're trying to recreate a movie and call it a recreation, then you need to stick to the recreation and stick to the original film at least a little bit. And to make that scene digitalized, it no, like it that bothered me. That made me cringe. I did not like that scene, and I was just like, why? Just why? What does this world come to? The new film is also not as funny as this one because nowadays it almost seems like you can't joke about anything. Nothing's a joke. And this scene in particular with Coach Carr, that scene was absolutely hysterical. That plot line was so funny. Now, I will never condone pedophilia or, child predators or nothing, but the fact that you can't even joke about different things like race, sex, religion, sexuality, that type of thing, you can't joke. There's no joking anymore. And it's just like, why? Like, they completely took out the fact that you can joke around and make those sort of comedic jokes and took everything out of that. And I knew going into seeing this film that they would probably do that, and half of the stuff that was in the original movie would not be in this new movie because you can't say those things anymore. And it sucks because that was such a funny plot line. And they completely took it out. I think Coach Carr was in it like 2 seconds about the don't have sex, you'll get pregnant and die. And that was it. And then he was gone. And it's just like, come on. Seriously? And along with the digitalization of the scene, it also kind of defeats the whole purpose of this scene that follows it, because now that everything's online, what is talking it out gonna do? Because you can't just crumple it up and throw it away and forget it ever happened. Like, it's out there forever. So the digitalization and the posting is such a different ballgame than just writing it on a piece of paper and throwing it in the air. And once you digitalize something, there's no going back. And I think this scene in the original film kind of, quote unquote, fixed the issue because you were able to just talk it out and completely forget the book exists. But when they went onto social media and did this scene via social media, it not only did not look right and it didn't look the way it looked in the original film, and you didn't get that same feel, it also completely just, you might as well not even do the scene. Like, the scene is, like, not needed because when you go home, you're still going to be able to read everything that people have posted about you and everything that all the videos that went viral. So it's just kind of like, why have this scene if you're just going to digitalize it? And that's what really got me annoyed as well. Now, I've never seen the musical of it, so I can't really speak on whether or not they were close with the musical, the Broadway version, and the movie. But my friend seen it and she said it was pretty good on the accuracy. Now I do know that they probably did change some things and did change some plot lines or some nitty gritty things just because, it's a stage, so you gotta change at least something. And I wish I had seen it. I did have the opportunity to see it senior year of high school, but I didn't take it because I saw Chicago the prior year and I did not like that one. I saw the movie prior, then the Broadway musical, and it just kind of ruined my view on it. So I didn't want to take that chance with Mean Girls because I absolutely love the film and I didn't want the musical to ruin my opinion on the film or the musical. So I just opted not to see it. And I kind of wish that I did because now it's closed, so I can't see it at all now. But I hope that they did an accurate job with everything. What I don't really like, though, is how ditzy and dumb they made Karen. I think Karen was taken to the extreme just a little bit on how dumb she is. Because, yes, there's always that dumb character and there's always the stereotypical dumb blonde. But in this musical, she just felt really dumb, like really stupid. And that voice, I don't know what's with like plays and musicals and movies where they always have to talk like this if they're dumb. And it's just like, what does the intonation of your voice have to do with your intelligence? Like, that I just don't get. And in the film, they made her wildly stupid. So that was weird. I don't know why, but in the last probably 5 to 10 years, they've been recreating and or making movies into musicals. They keep doing musical movie adaptations of either Broadway shows into movies or movies into Broadway shows or Mean Girls, the way Mean Girls was, where it was like a movie into a Broadway musical into a Broadway musical movie, and I just don't understand that. They did it for Dear Evan Hansen, they did it for In the Heights. Like, what is this weird phenomenon that everything has to be a musical movie? Everything has to come out on Broadway as a regular movie and a musical. Like, why do we need all three? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that they most of the time get a poor reception than a bad reception from the public. I've never seen the movie musicals, those movie musicals, because I've gotten such bad reviews and I've heard such bad things about it that I'm just like, why do I need to watch it? Like, if it's really that bad, like, no. And for some reason, they keep doing it, and I don't know why. If nobody likes it, why do they do it? Okay, so I'm gonna rate this film in three different categories: the acting, the songs, and the costumes. The costumes is a no go for me. It's a no for me. It's not fetch at all. Like, I did not like the costumes. It looked like basically Wish version of the original movie. Um, the acting, same thing. I did not like the acting. I don't think the acting was very on par. I think the acting was terrible. They just seemed to try to recreate the original movie, which you can't do. I don't know why people keep doing it. Your acting cannot um your acting cannot measure up to other people's acting. You are you, they are they. Like, you just can't. And I don't know why people keep doing it. And then there's the music and just the musical aspect of it, the songs are good. I guess there are some songs that are really catchy. I See Stars is one of my favorites. But other than that, like, it's just a no for me. Would I recommend this movie? Eh, it depends. I would recommend it for somebody that grew up with the first one and wants some nostalgia. Yeah, sure, but even then, I'm still like, nah. So that's everything for my review of this film. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one.